All right, well, we've got a big time co-main event coming up December 13th, live from the Masonic Temple. It'll be Kent MAFILEO on one side, and on the other side is going to be this man standing in front of me, Reuben Roundstone. We haven't seen you since February. I know you've been a little bit busy since that time, but how have you been? Good to see you.
Um, I've been kind of on a rocky one. Life goes, throw shit at you, and you gotta dip either way. And I walk straight forward through everything. So,
Yeah, how has life been in general? I know life has thrown some curveballs. I also know that fighting has been a little bit on a rocky streak over the past couple of months. But that all being said, how have you been personally?
personally, personally, um, man, past couple months have been absolutely crazy in my life. Um, it started out very beautiful. It started out very amazing and like a very big, rare occasion. Um, I had my son Atlas July 1st of 2024. So a little shy under like 5 months ago. Um, it was a beautiful day, which is also crazy. Is it's actually the same birthday as my 3-year-old. So they have a sharing birthday, which is crazy. It was a great day, man. And then it all just turned sour, bittersweet. Um, we found out that he had trisomy 18. It's a very rare disease in babies. 95% who get that diagnosis, they don't live for about a week. They have a lot of problems, physically. They even think cognitively. But we went through the rigmarole of the whole thing. Around that same time when we found out, I was fighting in BKFC Sturgis. I don't remember the number. I think it was like 63, 64. Can't remember which one. But I was one of those. Yeah, I fought in Sturgis. Man, that was just a tough camp, just going through the whole thing. Uh, then, yeah, we rolled on through it. Around, I think, 70 days. We got transferred over to Salt Lake City, Utah, to Primary Children's Hospital. And I've been here since. I've been almost here for 100 days. It's crazy. It's been a really crazy ride, but through all of it, it really changed me a little bit. It I'm not that smiling going guy that February. It really taught me to calm down a little bit. Um, personally, yeah, just in life general. This whole process, with my kids and my wife, and it just changed us in a weird way. It helped us almost ground ourselves a little bit better, really reach out to loved ones, the whole thing. But I've been fighting. I think this will be like my ninth or tenth fight this year. I can't remember. I fought in Sturgis, and then about a couple months after that, in October, I fought a UFC veteran. Didn't go my way. I kind of want to process with that. It was a weird fight, a weird outcome. Both of us weren't even hurt. It was weird. Well, he was a little bit hurt, but yeah. And then I fought a couple weeks ago in Kalispell, Montana.
Hmm.
That was a really fun fight. I enjoyed the shit out of it. So it really got us to let us go home for a little bit, take a little bit of, I don't know, what we had on our shoulders when we went there. It was just crazy. It just felt like I got something off my chest. Me and my wife got to heal a little bit, got to see our animals. That's been a crazy, like, my whole life over in Helena just went out the window
Yeah.
June 27th of this year. It just, my life that I had planned out and was getting all in line just dissipated within like a week. And then, I had to I fell into a wicked depression. And then, back in February, I remember I talked about that's what went viral, made me go viral for 3 weeks. Um, I really had to dig deep into my own mental health. And, I seen a lot of posts on mental health was hard to get over. It really was, man. It took me for a fucking ride. I literally lost myself for about a couple of months there. And I had to literally dig deep into my heart and find out who I am and who I am as not just as a man, but who I am as a father. Because, dude, my son had his first surgery a couple of weeks ago. It tore me to pieces to see my kids like that. But that's what really taught me to, made me grow up. So yeah, dude, this past couple of months have just been crazy.
I think number one question after that, and thank you for all of that and sharing. How is your son and what is the future with him? Is he going to be okay or is it still up in the air? How is he doing?
Trisomy 18 is a very, very tricky diagnosis. When we first heard about it, it was heartbreaking. It literally broke me down. My heart shattered that day. I couldn't even walk out of the hospital without shedding a tear. But I got to the parking lot because I'm a very big skeptic. I don't give a what it is. If it's fighting aliens, whatever, I'm a huge, huge skeptic. Um, but we read up on it and we looked into it, and social media is a very crazy thing because you can look up those things even on social media. It shows you a lot of crazy, crazy things. So, we went from the only one having it in the world after all this research, everybody's different. So we figured out, Atlas is going to be different. There's no going around that. It's just he's going to be different. And then it just spiraled. And now, I can't really play God, but he, in my heart and in my eyes and how I feel, I believe my son is going to be, he's going to grow up. He's going to have a full life, get to experience everything. Because even right now, he experiences so much. When he actually had his tracheostomy surgery, just we walked up there as soon as he was getting in there. So, it was crazy. So we seen him and he looked right at us and he smiled. And that was the first time I got to see his face within those first couple months. He always had a mask. He always had something down in his mouth, and his face was always covered. So to see that, it gave me a lot of hope. And to me, it changed his life a little bit. It gave him a chance to breathe. It made him a little bit better. Technology is crazy. So it literally within the first couple of weeks, because we took pictures all the time, and just to see that progress within that first 2 weeks blew my mind. The air we breathe is what literally makes us who we are. And he started breathing better, his heart was better. But here in about a week or two, we're gonna go into round two. He's gonna have his first heart surgery. They gave us the same statistics. Me and numbers right now, I hate those motherfuckers. I don't care what it is. I don't know, man. They gave us low numbers, these numbers, but he's gonna go into his heart surgery. That kind of puts us at where we're gonna start heading towards. Me and my wife, we fully trust in the surgeons and the doctors here. I mean, here in Salt Lake City, the doctors and the Ronald McDonald House and everybody, and just the environment, it really because I come from Billings. Well, we were in Billings. That's where I'm originally from Leslie, Montana, and we went from a dungeon to legit light here. It was crazy. So His first heart surgery is on 12/5. And that's kind of where we go. He heals for 6 weeks. In those 6 weeks, they're going to see kind of how he pulls on a ventilator, kind of how he reacts to majority of all of it. And what we've been told is this is going to be a pretty spot on surgery, and he's going to come out all right. So, after this one, we're ready to start living our life with our son. It's just crazy to think like we've been here for so long and I can finally take my son home. It's been a while, man. So to me, yes, he's going to live a full life. He's going to be 100% okay.
That makes me so happy to hear that it seems like there's a light at the end of the tunnel with all this, and it supposedly
Exactly.
is going to be December 5th. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Yeah. So next week or yeah, week after next. So it's
That's
gonna be a crazy one.
that's beautiful to hear, Reuben. I'm so glad that is, hopefully this happy ending to this tumultuous story that you just laid out for us. Thank you for sharing all of it. That being said, how much do you think that this has changed you? Obviously, you talked about changing your perspective on life, but also as a fighter, the week after, this very emotional moment in which you have been building up to this, you have a fight in Salt Lake City. How much has this kind of changed you as a fighter over these past 100 days or so?
I'm so like us Native Americans, we're very hard, and I grew up on a ranch, so I have I have a whole bunch of cowboy uncles and all that. So like my emotions and how I feel and all that, like they've been worn out since I was a kid. So like, dude, I remember I've fighting is all I know. You know what I mean? I grew up on the streets of Busby, on the reservation. It's no joke. I got a scar on my stomach that I got a zipper that tells the story of my life. I fought my entire life. So, with a gun, with a knife, with my fist, with my heart, with my soul. So it's nothing to me, dude. It's another day. It's another day. It's weird. When I was an amateur, a little nervous, and nowadays, I'm going into like my third 300th fight. I'm only 29 years old, and on paper I fought 300 times, and dude, this is nothing to me. I wish I could get nervous. I wish I could get scared. But I really respect Kent. This is one of the fights that I kind of wanted after I fought Zeke. It was something that was kind of sort of promised. In my mind, I was going to fight after I fought Zeke. But I wanted to fight for the belt. And, that option left the exact same night I fought Zeke. So, changed Bandera for a while. A lot of things weren't panning out because I was taking fights all over the place. So things weren't panning out to do that. Then my mind was still set on this fight. So it's weird how my heart works, how it manifests and doing all this stuff. You set something in your mind, go after it. It's what I've been out going after since February. So, the hunt began then. So here we are. It's just going to be another day in the office, another day I get to have fun.
Given everything that you've dealt with, I mean, I think that it's a great way to conclude this, potentially with having a fight. And obviously it's the one thing that and the one thing that you love. Would you consider that Zeke Law 2 fight in February one of the biggest wins of your entire career?
No. Um, it made me go viral. It was cool. It was cool to really see my name get fucking thrown around like that. It made me walking into a building in Montana very different.
Really?
Oh yeah, man. When I come from a reservation, which is very very small, cousins fight cousins there. It's a back and forth battle. It's crazy. It's like a war zone. But when I beat Zeke and I went viral for a minute there, there's not one place I would walk in there or Billings or in Helena and somebody would be like, "Hey man, you look familiar." And I'm like, "Oh." And they'd be like, "I seen you in a video, motivational video." And that one hits me right in the heart, feelers, and I'm like, "Yeah, man, that's probably me." But yeah, man, it just blew up. And then, I find Canada and the BKFC, so the thunder just kept rolling.
Yeah.
But my biggest fight in my career, and it's always gonna be until, I fight another one of my heroes, is Eric Hempstead. And that's when I won my bare knuckle title. But dude was like 33-1 before he met me. About a couple months before that, he knocked out my brother, just like Zeke. And I had anger, bad blood, but I also feared Eric. Like, Eric was a renowned boxer on my fucking in Montana. I know on paper it doesn't say that many fights, but like Eric is a legit legend in Montana boxing. So him to take the gloves off was a very big change. And yeah, dude, the rest is history. I mean, that was the most scared I've been in years because I knew, one wrong move, fucking, he was gonna put my lights out. He put out 33 motherfuckers before me, so I had fear all through that time. When I walked out there, when they play my music and I start to dance, my people follow me. My people are with me constantly. My ancestors, my grandpa Leroy. He's the one who made me, so I know he's always with me. So when I get there, dude, it's a different. It's not me. It's a different animal. It's a total different person. It's something I can't explain. I can't like write out or put to anybody. It's just somebody different. And, he gets let loose in that cage, and I really fear for the people who stand across him. Because man, I'm a killer. It's just what my people did. We were killers our whole life. That's why we're called the Mighty Cheyenne. So just another day.
You talked about being a changed man given all the things that you've dealt with over the past few months. Are you still the same showman on fight night? Are you still going to be walking out with
Oh, yeah.
the electricity that you brought to the Maverick Center?
I do. People when they see me dance, they think it's a almost comic, and they almost think it's funny in a weird way. But it's a symbol. It's a symbol. I dance for people who can't dance. I fight for people who can't fight. There's people who are dying constantly in our world. All they want to do is make their lives better, and I get the opportunity and the privilege to go to war and to get paid for it. And so, dude, like it's who I am. So it's always gonna be who I am. I'm always gonna dance. I'm always gonna be yelling. I'm always pumped up because that's just, for me in a weird way. I've powwowed my whole life. So my parents could try to get me and my older brother away from the streets. Sadly, it didn't work, but it's a part of my life. So when I powwowed, it created a spirit. I'm also a part of a war society, a reservation. When COVID first happened, they put us back into force. So, like, dude, it's just who I be. And, dancing and war crying and doing that whole schematics. It's just me. I really done it more when I actually got clean and sober, because legit, that's when I was reborn, man. I was, before that, I was a savage. Didn't matter win, lose, draw, drink, get high. But now, dude, it's legit for glory. It's either to go in there to fight or die trying.
What's your journey been like to get through the drug addiction? You've talked about it. Obviously, you talk about the clip that went viral on the socials, and what has it just been like for you to get past that point in your life?
Oh man, it's been crazy. It's been a wild ride. Um, before, because I've been fighting mixed martial arts since I was about 15 years old. 3 years before that was actually the same time I tried methamphetamine, the first time ever in my life. So from 13 to 25, that's just who I was. I was a drug addict. I was, wasn't the guy. And then I have a few older brothers that are very heavily involved in the drug game. My entire family, were a group of outlaws. My dad's side of the family, my namesake, the Roundstones. I have uncles, and I have cousins that went to prison for drugs and killing people and all this magic, and that's what I was raised around. So yeah, dude, like it's just been my entire life. So like it was just another day for me. And for 13 years, I just struggled with it and struggled with it and could never find my way out. I'd always tell myself, it's only gonna be tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll quit tomorrow. Maybe the next day, maybe next week. But just March 30th on my birthday of 2020, um, a part of me had a realization of like, are these people really my friends? Do they really love me? I had a whole bunch of drugs on me. I went to go test that theory out, and I found out very quick none of them were my friends. That same day, I took the. I'm not gonna say how much I had, but I took all the drugs in my pocket and I just threw them in the toilet because I knew if I threw them somewhere or if I like threw them on the ground, my drug addict ass would try to fucking like scavenge some. So I knew if I just threw it in the toilet, it would have been like flushing down my dream, sort of speaks. But like it was nothing. Like, it happened, and then like it's weird how it happened so quick. Like I was just done, and then like now 4 or 5 years later, I can like tell people like, dude, it's just not me anymore. It's just nothing I want to do or be around. It just got very boring, tiring, and it just played on my body. And now 5 years later, I feel fucking amazing. Like I'm in one of the best shapes of my life right now. It's crazy. I finally sat down and said, fuck it all, and get myself and my wife in shape. While we're in the beginning of all this, we kind of fell off and kind of got crazy. We gained a lot of weight. That's my drug now. I eat, but then I just got myself back into shape and pulled my fucking head out of my ass and shook it off a little bit, cowboyed up, and fucking got back on the horse and let her go. And that's just been my life, man. I just said, fuck it. I'm done with drugs. And, I try to be a voice for people who can't speak or who want to be, drug free. They, I don't know, they kind of find me. And it's a beautiful thing because, when you help somebody become sober and clean, it changes their life. And you almost get to see it over again, your own eyes. Like you get amazed. But I also think too, a lot of my brothers, a lot of my cousins and uncles, they never got to breathe this fresh air. So it's kind of what also motivates me too to, stay clean and sober. For them, I lost a cousin in 2021 for the same shit. He was left out in the cold, and that's been my motivation. For him. So I've always just stayed clean and sober.
Is your cousin's passing similar to what you shared in that post-fight interview back in February? Just some sort of gang-related, drug-related situation that caused, that death?
Oh yeah, it's exactly the same thing. He was out there because when you're on the res, you don't have like here you can go to a bar, go into the streets, but on the reservation it's just the woods. And I have a lot of relatives that died in those woods. Um, they took him back there. They got him drunk, got him high. They beat him up and thought he was going to walk out the next day. But December 24th of 2021, my brother Brody left this world. So it's that's just life on the reservation. So that's what like really like motivates me to, these little res kids to see me. That's what, I really do it for. So the next generation, the past generation kind of healed from it.
Yeah.
So keeping it real as be real.
Reuben, you've gone through, I mean, as we've been discussing, you've gone through so many traumatic things in your life. What was the thing that got you out of that world specifically? Was it a person? Was it a specific moment? Or was it really just you saying, I'm fed up with this, I'm out?
Wow, this is the first time I get to do this on this podcast. I really send a lot of appreciation to my wife. Um, she's legit been my rock, my stone, the backbone of all this. Um, Dude, when I met my wife, I was about like maybe like 3 or 4 months clean. But I was on a rocky road then, dude. Like, on the reservation, temptation runs everywhere. So, I was, dipping and dodging. But my I met my wife same year. And in a weird way, I kind of went under her wing. She's never done drugs in her life. She's never done any of that. The most she's ever done is just drink beer, drink a little bit of wine. Her dad's a full on Italian from Brockton, Massachusetts. They're Italians and they're very you know and which kind of brought me to the fight life when I got baptized. And I think it was like 2023. But yeah, dude, my wife just she literally saved my soul. She's literally been the angel of my life. She found me when I was like at my lowest. There was nothing you could squeeze out of me and left. I was fucking the empty fucking bottle of toothpaste. And she brought life back into me. She showed me that there's a world out. I've explored this world a lot when I was on drugs in my past life, but doing it with her, it just made it more sweeter and more loving, and warm. Because I grew up cold, dude. Like I'm just a mean mother, and you know, she just brought me to life, and she does a lot for my career, believe it or not. She's actually the one who made this final choice for me to fight Kent. Because I was like, yeah, I want to fight Kent. I want to fight Kent. Let's do this. Let's do that. She's like, Reuben, you better think of it kind of more stylistically. And you're going to go into this fight. And at the time, we were kind of talking November. But I was also in talks with the BKFC. Things were kind of moving, and then things just got dropped from them. So that opportunity went down. They brought it back up again in December. And no joke, when I told my wife in December, I really want to fight this dude, and she just looked at me and said, "It's perfect timing." So hats off to my wife. She's my motivator, my rock. She's the backbone of the Roundstone era. She's really the one who really started that back up back in like 2016. I kind of started that thing. And, she's the one who kind of was like, you know what, you need to be this guy, you need to be this dude. And, this is who you are. And, roll with it because you only get one chance at life. So I just said, and, that's what we've been doing. It's what we're continuing to do, especially with my son. We're just here. We're just like, because there's nowhere else we could have went. We couldn't stay home. Couldn't just wait. So we're here.
You have such an incredible story, and I think so many fans are extremely excited for the return of you. You've been talked about. I don't know if you know this, but in terms of the Salt Lake City fandom here, you have been talked about by the masses, and people are looking forward to seeing you once again.
What's crazy? This is what blown me away. I've adventured around here in Salt Lake. I get noticed everywhere. It blows my mind. Like, I talk about Montana. Montana's small. And when I'm walking through the crowds here and somebody's like, "Hey, are you Reuben?" And I'm like, "Yeah." In my mindset, I'm fucked up, ruined. So like, I'm already on guard. I'm like, "Yeah." Like, I seen you fall at the Maverick Center, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that was me, man." So yeah, dude, like it's amazing, and I'm very humbled by it. Love is crazy. That's what I kind of want to do. Like December 13th, I really want to bring the love back.
Yeah.
This is, I've actually found a place here called home to train. So, I love this place. It's crazy. even though it's a love hate relationship.
Sure. You know, we only have a couple minutes left. I did want to take note on that really quickly. Fight City is the new digs for you. Are you planning to stick around in Salt Lake, or are you going to be moving back to Montana once your son is back to full health?
Yeah, that's kind of our projectiles to get back to Billings.
Cool.
It's not just because, um, place is just home. Even for my wife. My wife's actually from California, so I know we hate Californians. I love my wife. So Montana's home for us, so we're gonna go back and try to really because the reservation is just right there, so it's easier for my son for health wise. My son got enrolled, so it's just easier for us to make that transition back to Billings than to try to make another. Because I still actually have a home in Helena. It's been occupied by my in-laws right now. It's my life there is just going to get switched, and it's just what we've been doing, and it's kind of what I've been telling Eric at Fight City. He kind of gets it, he understands. And, man, I love that place. It's crazy. Eric Wallin like took me in. And, I mean, I've been to a couple gyms around here, and they kind of like, oh yeah, yeah. But Eric, he took me in, and he's like, dude, I know. You I can't say exploit because he beats the living shit out of me. But like, dude, like it's been a mind blowing experience. It's really helped a lot in my fucking game. On the red or in Montana, I've been to every gym in Montana. I've been going to gym pretty much my whole career, so it's nothing really new to me. So finding this new home, it's taken a lot off my shoulders, and I'm really appreciative of Eric, everybody at Fight City. They've legit taken care of me, and they made me battle ready, man. I can't fucking wait.
December 13th. How can people get a hold of you, support you for this fight that's coming up in Salt Lake City?
You can hit me up on all my social media, Facebook, Instagram, at the moment. Man, just look for me. I'm walking around town. You can find me. I'm that Indian, dude. I'll sell tickets out of my pocket. I don't care. But yeah, man, hit me up on social media. You can even hit me up on GoFundMe. We had one going for my son. It's just been really helping with, our life. It's weird that, when you leave your comfort of your home, um, how much like you, like, dude, like I'm like legit homeless and sort of speaks. But like it really humbles you. You finally learn that money is not, a, a lust. It's more of just a tool.
Yeah.
So you can find me on those. And, that's life, dog. You'll see me December 13th putting on a motherfucking show.
We absolutely cannot wait for it. He is Reuben Roundstone. Looking forward to a couple weeks from now live from the Masonic Temple. Reuben, thank you so much for the time. We really appreciate it.